Schizophrenia. The word itself sounds heavy, like a door creaking shut in the mind. It's a chronic mental illness that affects how a person thinks, feels, and behaves. It's characterized by a combination of positive symptoms like hallucinations and delusions and negative symptoms like apathy and social withdrawal. Imagine a world where your senses deceive you, where shadows whisper secrets, and reality itself seems to shift like sand beneath your feet. That's the haunting reality of schizophrenia, a condition I've grappled with for years. It's not easy living with a mind that plays tricks on you. It's like watching a film where the audio and video are out of sync. Your senses, your thoughts, your emotions, they all become unreliable narrators in the story of your life. One of my earliest experiences with hallucinations occurred when I was in college. I was walking home from the library one evening when I heard a voice calling my name. I turned around but saw no one. The voice persisted, growing louder and more insistent. It felt so real, so close. Yet I knew it couldn't be. As time went on, the hallucinations became more frequent and more vivid. I saw shadowy figures lurking in the corners of my vision, heard voices whispering my name, even felt phantom insects crawling on my skin. These experiences were terrifying and isolating, making me question my sanity and withdraw from the world around me. The outside world became a source of sensory overload. The constant noise and movement, the flashing lights and vibrant colors. It was all too much for my already overloaded senses to handle. I felt like a frayed wire, constantly on the verge of short-circuiting. My family and I decided that I needed a change of environment. We started looking for a place that was quieter, calmer, and more conducive to healing. We eventually found a small cottage in the countryside. It was a world away from the hustle and bustle of city life. The air was fresh and clean. The only sounds the chirping of birds and the rustling of leaves. We hoped that the peace and quiet of the countryside would provide some respite from the chaos of my mind. Moving to the countryside was a huge decision, but we hoped it would bring me some peace. We were leaving behind the familiar, the comfortable, for the unknown. But sometimes the unknown is exactly what you need to find yourself again. On the first night in our new home, I lay awake in bed listening to the unfamiliar sounds of the countryside. The silence was almost deafening, broken only by the occasional hoot of an owl or the chirping of crickets. As my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I noticed something strange. The shadows in the corners of the room seemed to be moving, twisting and contorting into grotesque shapes. I heard whispers slithering through the silence, voices I couldn't quite make out. Fear coiled in my stomach, cold and tight. The hallucinations were back. They had followed me, even here to this tranquil sanctuary. A wave of despair washed over me. Would I ever be free from this torment? The isolation of the countryside suddenly felt more menacing than peaceful. Over time, I've learned to cope with my hallucinations. It's a constant battle, but I've found ways to distinguish between what's real and what's not. One of the most helpful techniques is reality testing. Whenever I experience a hallucination, I try to engage my other senses. I touch nearby objects, remind myself of where I am, and talk to someone I trust. This helps ground me in reality and reminds me that the hallucinations are not real. Another coping mechanism is distraction. When the hallucinations become overwhelming, I try to shift my focus to something else. I read, listen to music, or go for a walk in nature. These activities help quiet my mind and provide a much-needed break from the torment of my own thoughts. The price of solitude. Living alone with schizophrenia presents its own unique set of challenges. There are days when the silence is deafening, when the loneliness feels like a physical weight pressing down on me. The fear of being alone with my own mind, of losing touch with reality, is a constant companion. Simple tasks like grocery shopping or doing laundry can feel insurmountable. The fear of encountering people, of their judgment and misunderstanding, can be paralyzing. There are days when I don't even have the energy to leave my bed. But even in the darkest of times, I try to remind myself that I am not defined by my illness. I am a complex individual with hopes, dreams, and aspirations. Schizophrenia may be a part of my story, but it doesn't have to be the whole story. Finding my footing. Despite the challenges, I refuse to let schizophrenia define me. I find solace in small victories, a day without hallucinations, a successful trip to the grocery store, a moment of genuine connection with another human being. I've discovered a passion for gardening. There's something incredibly therapeutic about digging in the dirt, planting seeds, and watching them grow. It's a tangible reminder that even in the midst of chaos, life finds a way. The countryside, once a source of fear, has become my sanctuary. The peace and quiet that once felt isolating now feel restorative. I find solace in the rhythm of nature, in the changing seasons, in the simple beauty of the world around me. The power of connection. One of the most important things I've learned on my journey is the power of connection. Isolation feeds the illness while connection nourishes the soul. It takes courage to reach out, to let people in, but the rewards are immeasurable. I've been fortunate to find a support group for people with mental illness. Sharing my experiences with others who understand has been invaluable. It's a safe space to be vulnerable, to offer and receive support, and to remember that I'm not alone in this journey. There's still a long road ahead, and I'm learning to navigate the twists and turns with greater confidence. I'm learning to embrace my resilience, to celebrate my small victories, and to find hope in the most unexpected places. A tapestry of strength. Schizophrenia is a complex and challenging illness, but it's not a life sentence. With the right support, coping mechanisms, and a belief in oneself, it's possible to live a full and meaningful life. My journey has been marked by both darkness and light, despair and hope. It's a tapestry woven from the threads of my experiences, both painful and profound. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the power of connection, and the unwavering belief that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope to be found.